Hi, everyone. Oh, so I am back doing my lives. I called them daily lives before. Not going to do them every day, but maybe once or twice a week. We're going to do some lives because I love going live and talking about writing. It's a lot of fun. I actually have lots and lots of ideas of what to talk about. And if you've seen some of my posts on Instagram or you saw my email that went out this morning, I've been taking kind of an unconventional, unintentional hiatus from social media and emails and all of that kind of stuff because I was working on some things in the background. And now that I've got those things starting to work and we've got those things moving along and we've got that process going, I can actually. I have the mental space to show up again for you guys and to start providing more content and more resources and more information for you. So I'm super excited to get back into this. Today, we are going to talk about how often I write in a week. This was actually a user, follower, subscriber, whatever suggestion back when I was doing daily lives. They had asked how often I write in a week and if I could share that process. And so I was like, this is a great topic to talk about because I can talk about writing all day long. That's why I do what I do, right? So this is why I thought this would be a great topic to talk about. So, how often do I write in a week? Well, the short answer is it varies. And that's probably the case for a lot of people. Now, when I'm in the middle of a book and when I have a deadline or something like that, I will actually be super intentional about my writing time. And if I have like a certain goal I want in mind, I will plan it out and I will take um, like basically how long I think it's going to be. And I generally don't know at all how long my books are going to be. I am a pantser, which means I don't have a plan when I go into my books. I just write. The plan is to get to the end of the book, right? So I just start writing. I start getting all my thoughts out, getting all my plans out, and then I worry about the plotting process and the plot itself in the self-editing process. Totally fine to do that, by the way. Your process is unique and your process is your own. So, whatever process you have, whether it's a hybrid of pantsing and plotting, whether you plot all the way, you know all the steps, you know everything, or you pants all the way and you don't know anything about what's going on in your book until you get to the end of it, every process is unique as we are as writers, and it's all acceptable. It is all fine. So give yourself that space to explore the writing process that works for you. So that's just an aside. But one thing I wanted to share is how often I write. That was the question. So when I am writing, when I'm working on like when I'm, like I said, when I'm really getting under a deadline, I really have things that I want to get done, I will plan out certain amounts and I'll say, okay, well, this is how much I need to write today to get that done. Sometimes I will take days off of like a certain day off of my other work tasks and get everything done earlier in the week or, the days leading up to it. And I will take one day where I only write. And usually, if I'm in the middle of something or I'm really into it, I have hit some 10K days, and I'm super excited about that because I love my 10K days. It's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. So, anyway, that's kind of an aside. I actually I type and I write really fast, by the way. So, do not feel bad. Again, all of our processes are unique. So don't feel bad if you can't hit a 10K day. That's totally fine. It's your process is your process. Your how quickly you write or how slowly you write has no bearing on how good you are as an author, how good your books are, and how successful you can be as an author. You've heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, as you've seen. I tend to be more of a hare when it comes to the writing process because I'm very like feast or famine. So I will write a ton of stuff all at once. And like I basically did 2 nano months back to back in January and February of 2021. I wrote the vast majority of my the book I'm planning probably will release next. I wrote that back in January and February of 2021, and I hit 50K plus both months. So I wrote over 100,000 words in 2 months. However, I hardly wrote anything else for the rest of 2021. So I was spent like I edited that. I actually didn't I wrote some in another book. I got maybe 10K, 12K, something like that. That another manuscript I had an idea for that I since have paused and put in the back burner. But so I can actually be very it actually really varies for me. However, now I actually run the Edit with an Editor membership, and this is basically designed to give us a community in which we can edit our books together. And I have found that for me personally, this has been really helpful, helping me stay on track with my writing. Because as you saw, and what I explained, what happened last year, I spent 2 months basically writing, and I did other things too, and my business and all that kind of stuff. So I did all that kind of stuff in the background, but I was mostly focused on writing. And then I took almost 10-month break where I didn't write at all. So it's okay to do that, by the way. If that works for you and you're releasing the books in the time frame you want to, that's totally fine to do. Giving you permission to do your exact thing that you need to do. But anyway, but when I started the Edit with an Editor membership back in November, we started doing editing sprints. And that really helped me get into the editing of that book that I had written earlier in the year. And I got it to almost all the way complete. And I decided that it was time to pause on that book, explore other things, get my head kind of in the right space to be able to release that book. So it hasn't been edited completely, but that was an intentional choice. And then I actually started using those sprints to write. This is why long, like really roundabout way to get to the answer to this question. But to answer your question now, I often write during our sprints. And so that is my primary writing time. That allows me to check in 4 times a week because that's currently where our sprints are. And that may change soon. We'll see. And I'm thinking about maybe adding some more, maybe not. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. But for now, we actually have 4.5 hours a week. We are meeting together to sprint. And so we do 2 of them on Thursdays, which is why it's a great day to talk about this because we're doing sprints in like an hour and a half from now. And we did some this morning. And then we do some on Tuesday. And also we do an hour and a half session on Sunday. So this sounds and it's like super fun. This is the best part of the membership because we get to hop on Zoom together. We're writing together. We chat through things. We get advice from each other. We learn about each other's manuscripts and how their writing process works and what they're working on. If we do check-ins before and after our sprints to see where we're at in our manuscript and what we're working on that day. If we come across anything that we want to ask questions on or get feedback on, it's been really helpful and way more helpful than I ever anticipated it would be. It's been such a great experience. So I know this might sound like an ad for the membership, but really it's been the best experience to have that community that we go to and have those sprints as a check-in 3 times a week. So basically 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays currently. And we have those different check-ins where I know that I have dedicated time to work on my book. I have dedicated time where we're going to sprint and we're going to actually sit down together. We're going to set a timer and write or edit. Like this is what the sprints are for. It's an Edit with an Editor membership. So there's a lot of support around the editing process. But you can also use it for writing sprints as well, which is what I have been doing in trying to get my brain wrapped around what my next release is going to be and when and how to finish that out. So, but for the first probably 6 months or so, I did use that for editing because you can edit during sprints too, which I didn't even think about. But when I had the idea, I was like, perfect, we're going to do this because we need to edit in community. It's some of the best way to get accountability. And it's just a lot of fun. So to answer the question that someone had suggested was how often do I write in a week? Well, definitely 4 times a week, right? Because I use those 4 sprints to do that. Except, when Zoom decides not to work. But anyway, that just happened once recently. That's why I mentioned it. But we do show up 4 times a week to do sprints. And hi, thanks for coming. Janine, it's great to have you. So that's how often I write in a week, usually those 4 times, but I also do sometimes plan in days. And I actually have been feeling really good this week. Like I said, I've been kind of taking the last few weeks or so to work on things in the back end and kind of work on my mindset and work on just getting my head in the right space and working on my energy and all of that. And I feel like this week I've finally gotten into a place where I can start sharing again and start creating content for you guys and start talking to you guys, which is why I'm doing a live today, and start just getting all of this energy out that I have in me and all of this content and information and advice. And I just want to help you wherever you're at in your author life. So if you want to sign up for the membership, I put it in the Facebook and the YouTube description below, so you can check it out if you're on there. On Instagram, it is linked in my link in my bio. And I would love to have you. It's actually just $30 a month. So you get 4 days a week where you're sprinting, plus there's like trainings and Q&As, and you have access to a Facebook group where you can ask questions any time of day. We do some motivation and some grammar stuff, but it's a lot of fun. It's not only fun, but we get work done in a fun way and where we can communicate and talk together and chat. So I would love to have you. If you would like to join, you can always reach out to me too, and I'll send you the link, or you can ask questions or anything about that. But I'd love to have you in that, because that's the best part. This is how I get my writing done. So I wanted to share it with you in case you need an accountability partner of sorts, to place to come where you're like, I need to get my book done, but I just don't have the time. Well, sprints. When you write in community, you actually have that time set aside where you can join and you can get things done together and actually make progress on your book. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Like I said, I plan to be doing these lives more often than, never that I've been doing it the last few weeks. But not every day, because I just couldn't handle every day. But I will be, showing up more and getting back to things, because I've just kind of taken the time off that I needed to reset and recharge. And it's been really helpful and super rejuvenating and super informative. And there's just so many things that that have been transformative internally. So it's been great. But I'm back, and I'm glad that I'm back, because I love to chat with you. So if you ever have any questions or you want to talk about something, my DMs are always open. You can always comment on stuff. I would love to hear your thoughts, see what questions you have, help you talk through things. Just be a sounding board if that's what you need. So, all right, I will talk to you soon.